Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to Cutting Edge Action. Now, I am really excited to do this video for you guys because this is the first time I've had my entire collection in the same place for me to record it and take pictures of it and just admire it in general. It's taken me over 15 years to collect all of these knives from varying locations, and they all have different meanings to me. I've never really had a particular style of knife that I go after. I just purchased the knives that really appeal to me. A lot of the knives that you're going to see in this video are used basically entirely for display because I wouldn't trust them to do the tasks that I need to do in the field every day, and they just wouldn't be reliable for what I need them to do, but that doesn't mean I don't enjoy them anyway. I like all of my knives, from the cheap Chinese beaters all the way up to the Benchmades, the Warlock, and the Zero Tolerance. I don't really discriminate in that regard, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be using some cheap chintzy knife every day because that just wouldn't fly with what I need my knife to be able to do. Now, I want to get into it by kind of giving my rationale for making this video. So, the first point that I want to make is that knives have more value than purely for collecting and observing. Good knives are lifetime tools when they're properly maintained, and when you start carrying a knife, you'll realize just how many things it could have made easier for you that you've been trying to do with other tools or without tools in the past. And I think a good quality knife is an essential part of any good everyday carry. Knives can be interacted with and used, and some have interesting mechanisms like the Warlock, for example, and have a fidget factor. So that's another part of them being more function than just entirely form. Anybody can get into the knife hobby at basically any price point. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get into it. You can just spend a little bit of money and still end up with a fantastic knife. And there are lots of companies making cheaper knives that still look and perform extremely well. So like I said, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get into this hobby, and it's also not really a hobby that gets gatekept a lot. You can really fit into the community at any price point, and people will still respect your knives. As you get more and more into the hobby, you can choose whether or not you want to buy higher quality knives, but you can still find great knives under $100 that are just fantastic. Another great reason to collect them is that high quality knives really barely lose any of their value as they get worn. So as long as you don't completely destroy a knife and you keep it in decent shape, then it's not going to lose all that much of its value, and you would be able to resell it, get your money back if you needed to. And in some cases, if you're purchasing rarer knives, you can even make a profit on your collection. In addition to being able to resell your knives to make most of your money back if you had to, you can also trade knives with people on communities like r/KnifeSwap over on Reddit. That's a great place to swap around your knives and trade them and be able to get a knife that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to get or afford. Another cool part about knife collecting is that you can do all the maintenance on your knife yourself, which is very cool. Maintaining your knife is a great way to get to know it, to get more familiar with it. The process can be very therapeutic, and you'll immediately be able to see the fruits of your labors, which is pretty cool. You can take a knife that is dull or has missing screws and fix it right up. Even if the blade is completely rusted out, in a lot of cases you can still find a way to bring it back from the dead and get your tool back in working order, which is just awesome. When you really get into the hobby, you can start doing things like modifying your knife and customizing it and making it truly your own. Customizing a knife is really fun because you can get somebody to produce just about any part you can think of for your knife. Whether it be custom titanium or aluminum or G10 scales, or custom hardware dress kits, custom thumb studs, custom blades even. People will cut the blades and make new ones for you, or regrind the blade. People will do all kinds of things for you, or you can even do it yourself to make your knife totally custom. There's a wide variety of communities, especially over on Etsy. You can find lots of people who are selling fantastic knife parts for a wide variety of different knives and get a chance to make a knife that is truly unique and not the same as the knife that anybody else could get online. Knives also come in just about every variety you can imagine, as you can probably tell from all the B-roll shots that I've been doing here and giving you guys these close-ups with some of my favorites in my collection here during the studio section. I have got all different kinds of knives, and I'm still finding new ones that I don't have any of and experimenting with them and finding new things that I like, new things that I don't like, and they just come in so many different varieties that you'll basically never run out. You can always find somebody who's innovating, somebody who's done something new, something cool that you like. You can find them in just about any color and shape and size, form factor, mechanism that you want. And if it doesn't exist yet, then you can usually find a custom knife manufacturer who will be willing to make the knife that you want just for you. And then you'll have a one-of-one knife that will only be yours, and it will be exactly to your specifications. Now that process can of course get very expensive, but if you have the money and you're willing to pay, somebody will make that custom knife that you want. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the conclusion of this video now. Basically, there are just a ton of reasons to get into the knife collecting hobby. It's really fun. You can get custom things. You can get things that match your style and your tastes. You can maintenance knives yourself. They don't lose all that much value, so they're pretty good for resale or even as investments if you buy rare higher end knives that people are going to want in the future. It's just a fantastic community to be a part of. It's really fun. If you don't have any knives, you should consider looking online, seeing if you can find something that you like, and maybe trying out the hobby, because not only are they great tools, they're fun to play with, they're fun to look at, people ask about them, they're very cool, and it is just excellent to be in this community. I hope you guys enjoyed all the shooting that I did in glorious 4K 60 FPS for this video. I think it turned out really nicely. You can let me know what you think of the new shooting and editing techniques down in the comments. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and leave a like. Get subscribed if you are not subscribed already. Hit the bell icon to be notified of future uploads from me. This has been Cutting Edge Action.